Hey, Faith Community Church, coming at you with another devotional. I had just talked with the kids about this a couple weeks ago. We were walking through the Bible, through the Old Testament right now with the kids, and right now we are in 1 Samuel. So we talked about David and Goliath a couple weeks ago, and I thought it was a perfect example of how we should be acting in a time like this. So let me read from you 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 45 and 46 says this. David said to the Philistine, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and I'll strike you down." So really this story is about God delivering victory to David, and ultimately it's about God's glory. And it's written down for us to see the example of what a man's correct outlook on life is and what ours should be. And so really our lives are about God. And so this global pandemic is also about God. And if someone were to write down how I would have acted in this time, if someone were to write down how you would have acted in a time like this, how would they describe you? Would they describe you as anxious, as fearful, as paranoid, or would you be described as having a peace that passes understanding, or putting others' interests above your own, or seizing opportunities to do the good works that God has laid out before you during this time? Is that how somebody would write about you? Because the Israelites, they're there. Goliath had been out 40 days in a row, standing and defying God that whole time. And we have to realize that God sustained Goliath and tolerated that even though he was doing it. What we need to know is that God actually sustains everything. Nothing happens without God allowing it to. And so this coronavirus, God sustains this virus. But just like the story of David and Goliath, are we acting as if God is not sovereign, God is not in control? Because it's easy to say that when nothing's happening. It's easy to say that in the week-to-week grind when there's not a global pandemic. But as soon as it comes around, really, that's when we reveal our true colors, isn't it? And so are we going to be the Israelites? Are we going to be the world quaking in our boots at this catastrophe right before us? Or are we going to be the David and acknowledge that God is sovereign? Are we going to be the David and acknowledge that he's the one who sustains this? The day is his, the battle is his, the circumstance, all these things are his. And so are we going to see things the way David sees them? And are we going to run to God, who is our rock and our refuge and our salvation?